Hello. I am looking for some advice on what is the best routine, in your opinion, or what works for you, for having a steady rotation of suits, shirts, ties, etc. I am going into full-time work, and I am trying to decide how many suits to buy, how many shirts, when to do laundry, etc. My aim is to make it as effortless as possible so I do not really have to think about it. Any tips or pointers for succeeding in full-time office work, just to make it that much more bearable, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, everyone. Edit. This got a bit ridiculous. I ask for a few tips and I get extensive suit advice. Thanks, everyone. Story 1. I'm not a suit wearer, but my partner is. A few tips to make laundry a bit easier. Get yourself a high-quality iron and keep the water reservoir filled. High steam is your friend for getting out wrinkles. Iron the front and back of your button-up daily. Non-iron shirts will be less wrinkled, but they still need a quick ironing. Get yourself some dryer sheets that prevent wrinkles. They're worth the added cost. When going without a tie, use collar stays and keep the top button undone. Keep more collar stays handy than you need as they're easy to lose around the house. Have V-neck undershirts on hand for going without a tie. Get in the habit of taking your socks off neatly so they wash well. Don't throw them in the hamper all wadded up and inside out. When traveling, always test the hotel iron on a hotel washcloth before ironing your shirt in case it has rust or other issues that could ruin your shirt. Story 2. Tailored suits tend to encourage people to maintain a certain level of health. Large diet changes can affect how your suit looks, so try to eat healthily. Avoid sauces generally, and keep a spare tie and shirt at work at all times in case of an emergency meeting or clients, and keep a few stain-removing pens around to help keep stains out. Also, if you're in a colder climate, consider a large jacket. Story 3. The starting rotation looks like this. 1 navy suit and 1 charcoal suit, both with only very subtle patterns, 6 shirts, 3 white and 3 light blue, all with a twill pattern, 6 ties based around the colors black, silver, red, and blue, 1 pair of black shoes and 1 pair of brown shoes, 1 black belt and 1 brown belt, and a simple tie clip. Also consider a white pocket square, 1 shirt with French cuffs, and a pair of cufflinks for when you want to go all out. You can grow from there, but if you have that wardrobe, you'll always have the fundamentals. Go with Eton dress shirts. They last forever, look great, and don't need ironing. Always wear a white undershirt, preferably a full t-shirt. Store your shoes in a shoe tree when not wearing them. If your shoes get dirty, clean and polish them as soon as possible to keep the leather in good shape. Since everything else should be understated, the socks can be a colorful pattern and don't have to match anything. Some seem to have missed the part about 1 shirt with French cuffs. I'm not recommending them for daily wear around the office for purely practical reasons. They collect dirt like nobody's business. But it's nice to have that extra gear available to shift into when you want to be looking really good. Also known when paired with a pocket square as the full suit of armor. Story 4. I had to wear a suit every day for a year and a half. Luckily, dress clothing can be worn much longer than normal clothing and still smell nice and look normal. Wearing an undershirt is very important to not ruin your shirts and make you more comfortable. Undershirts and long johns can also work if you need warmth. Polish your shoes every couple of weeks or so, and make sure they never have any dirt on them. You may need to clean them a lot. You will also want sock straps. There are 2 variations of this. One that just keeps your socks up, and another that keeps both your socks up and dress shirt kept down. They make you look a lot neater. Also, make sure you iron whenever something gets wrinkles. If you have pets, get that little tool that removes fur from your clothes. Story 5.1. When buying a suit, if you are not going bespoke or made to measure, spend the extra $20 to $30 and get it tailored to fit you. Go to a tailor. A good tailor can make a thrifted suit fit exceptionally well. Because suits are all about fit, understated looks are power moves. Do not be the person with 3 lapel pins, a tie bar, a pocket watch, bright trousers, and so on. The only thing you need to emphasize with a suit is the tailoring. Keep the shirts fitted too. Any shirt you want to wear with a suit, have the sleeves altered to a consistent length to show the right amount of cuff. Speaking of shirts, white or light blue. White is a safer bet. Speaking of shirts, do not buy those electric-colored polyester shirts that come in a box, usually with a shiny tie. They make you look like a teenager going to prom, not a man with a career. Black suits are for black tie occasions. If you do not know what a black tie occasion is, you are better off not owning a black suit. The only exception is funerals. Tight does not mean tailored. Do not buy skinny fit suits. The white square, television fold is the best and safest option, and the classiest. Unbutton the top button if you are going without a tie. 10. Never spread your collar over the lapels. 11. If you feel the need to go with patterned suits, check out classical patterns such as Glen Plaid, Black Watch, Herringbone, Houndstooth, Prince of Wales, and Windowpane. 12. Poor shoes will throw everything off. Throw away the square-toed shoes your dad let you borrow for an interview and step into some brogues, double monks, or even some Chelsea boots. 13. While we are on shoes, take the extra 10 minutes to polish them occasionally. 14. When it comes to pinstripes, go with chalk stripes or finer lines. Big bold lines make you look like a guy in a 1920s gangster costume. 15. Know which color shoes go with which suits. 16. Solid ties are always the safest bet. 17. If you are going to play with color, do not match your tie to your pocket square. Make them complement each other. 18. If you do go made to measure, and you should, flex a little bit and unbutton the cuffs. My own signature is 2 on the right, 1 on the left. 19. When you stand up, put your jacket on. The dress shirt with a tie but no jacket look screams sad car salesman or mid-1990s information technology guy. 20. Italian cut. Always go Italian cut. 21. Without a tie, no-show socks with a good set of loafers is a power move in the summer. Outside of that, a good itinerary of suits for a starter should be charcoal, navy, royal blue, slate blue, light gray, and beige. I am Italian. I know these things, and I have been wearing suits to work for years now. Holy cow, I did not expect this to blow up. I've done my best to reply to as many people as I could. I'm not going to lie, I glossed over some questions because they are an easy Google fix. Thanks for the love. Dress well, my friends. Menswear is a diverse, exciting, fun-filled art of expression. While I maintain the above is seriously pragmatic and solid advice, express yourself. Break my own advice if you must to shine out who you are. Story 6. Because suits are all about fit, make sure your weight is under control. If it fluctuates a lot, you will need a lot of variation in your wardrobe too. It is cheaper to eat correctly than to buy suits over and over because your weight changes all over the place. Story 7. Don't buy suits with obvious designs like plaids and thick pinstripes because they become recognizable. People will say, "You wore that suit last week." Solids are fine, but get the rich solids, not the cheap solids. For example, there's a certain dark gray that looks expensive, and there's a light gray that looks like it's made of cheap material. Forget colored shirts. Always choose a lightly starched white. Story 8. Different shirt every day, trousers at least 2 a week, depending on what shirt they go with and if you have any accidents. Dark trousers are a blessing. They're like jeans and can be worn for a long time. Depending on the type of office, a tie is not always necessary. Choose basic shoes to match the outfit. Don't bother with any piece that stands out too much. Nothing flashy is needed. Before your first day, spend a day in an outfit. See how it feels, if shoes hurt your feet, if the trouser catch digs into your waist, etc. But most importantly, how much your shirt makes you sweat. Not if, but how much. Test if wearing a vest underneath helps. Deodorant and antiperspirant only ever made it worse for me. I never smelled, but had the dreaded wet patches. Eventually, I had to hunt down shirts made from different materials or with a sort of lining under the arms. Your mileage may vary, but maybe this could give you a heads up. Story 9. Reading through all this makes me realize, I'm so glad I don't have to wear a suit for work. I don't at all in the slightest regret burning the last suit I owned. C. I never have to put on those horrible, uncomfortable shoe, shirt, jacket combos ever again. More power to you if you enjoy wearing a suit. I just always looked and felt like the defendant in a court case or a bin bag full of coleslaw wearing one. Story 10. I used to sell suits at the men's warehouse for years. A couple of basic fashion rules. 1. With a 2-button suit, you only do the top button. Don't do the bottom button. Rookie mistake. With a 3-button suit, you do the middle button and you can do the top button. Don't do the bottom button. Rookie mistake. Don't combine navy with black. If it's a navy suit, don't wear a black tie. And vice versa. Black shoes are for a black suit only. If your suit is a color, your shoes should be too. Brown shoes look great with navy or tan suits. Burgundy shoes look great with a gray suit. Get shirt and tie combinations that can be switched around. You can tell which shirts and ties to wear based on the color of the suit. Here's what I mean. Gray suit and a white shirt? Find a tie that has gray and white. Navy suit and a pink shirt? Find a tie that has navy and pink in it. It's not rocket science. It's super easy to put together thoughtful combinations. Stick to 2 or 3 colors. Don't bother with pocket silks or pocket squares yet. That's an advanced move. You're not advanced yet. Leave the square at home. I should have made this number 1. Don't buy a black shirt. That's a cliché frat boy college kid move. You won't see a single black shirt in the professional world, at least not on anyone who doesn't also have a goatee. Don't wear a black collared shirt. The fit is far more important than the brand. However, oftentimes they will correlate. If the $800 suit is less comfortable than the $500 suit, just get the $500 suit. Comfort is king. You'll know right away as soon as you put it on if it's comfortable. Trust your instincts, not the price tag. Lastly, start slow. If you'll be wearing suits all day, every day, just start with a couple. Don't drop $10,000 on suits just because you're excited unless you have that kind of disposable cash. You'll have lots of time to buy more suits. Story 11. Can't help you with the suit question. As far as tips for starting a job where you need to wear a suit. 1. Early is on time is late. Be early for your workday, meetings, and company events. Be known as the person who is never late, always early. If you lead meetings, have an agenda every time, work the agenda, and end the meeting on time. You have no idea how much time is wasted in meaningless meetings. Don't make other people late for their next meeting. Decide in advance if it's a brainstorming meeting, a decision-making meeting, or whatever. Be upfront so people know what's expected. If it's decision-making, make the decision at the end of the meeting. Leave nothing to email about later. And the decision can be, okay, we'll decide this at our next meeting. If you are in a meeting and don't understand something, ask for clarification. If you are in a meeting with a client, always send a follow-up email or call where you briefly summarize any decisions or topics for future discussion. If you don't get through an agenda at a meeting and further discussion is necessary, schedule the next meeting at the end of the current one. Try not to get caught up in group email discussions. If it's not your meeting, suggest the group meet again rather than email. Know the priorities and values of the company, not just the written ones, and focus on the work that best fits the values. If profitability is not stated as a value, assume it's an unwritten value. Focus on the work that generates the most revenue. If you are deciding between 2 phone calls or 2 meetings to attend, which one generates the most revenue? Which one best fits the priorities and values? You won't get everything done on your to-do list. Find an organizational system and stick to it. Also, pick your priorities each day and stick to them. Let go of or delegate the rest. If your boss is upset you didn't do a thing, say, I was working on X, Y, and Z project, which would you like me to drop to work on this? It's a great way to find out if the priorities you pick are aligned with the boss. If you've picked correctly, they will not want you to drop the other things. If you haven't, you find out what the priorities actually are. Either way, it shows you are thinking about what's important. Be kind to all. 10. Don't stay if your personal values become compromised. Find a recruiter who will get you a job that matches your values. 11. Put as much as possible in your retirement plan, especially if there's a matching policy. Also, put money in a savings account every check. If you get direct deposit, you can have the check deposited into 2 or more accounts. You won't even miss it. Story 12. Spend some time looking at high-end suits, even if they are out of your price range. Note the details and how it fits. It will give you a decent measuring stick to weigh against when you are looking at less expensive suits. Story 13. Black, gray, blue, white button-down shirts, Johnston Murphy shoes, silk ties. Don't clean the jackets. Most cheap suits have glued lapels and will wrinkle if dry cleaned. Story 14. This is going to sound odd, but I went to a place called Tickner's in a mall. Find that place if you can. An obviously non-heterosexual male put 12 ties on a table and said, "Which one of these do you hate?" I took away all the ties I would not wear. He came back with an entire wardrobe. 5 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, 5 ties, and 2 jackets. He laid them out in a diagram where I could wear different combinations so as not to look like I was wearing the same thing. It was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had shopping. As someone commented below, a fitted suit is never a waste of money. A suit will make you look good. A fitted suit makes you look great and will do amazing things for your confidence. In short, when you go buy suits, find someone or someplace that is way smarter than you and don't settle. If you don't like it or even feel meh about it, don't do it. Story 15. This is actually really helpful for me too because I'll start working in a hotel soon, hopefully. I never really wore suits. I was an intern in a hotel, but they weren't that strict, and we had a long-sleeved shirt they had us wear.